It's no wonder we have a globally declining birth rate. Majority of the population, including myself, can barely even afford a one-bedroom apartment in this current economy. Having kids on top of that would be nothing short of a literal death sentence. Both call and house prices have risen exponentially over the last couple of years, but wages have remained stagnant. It's gotten to the point that I've learned to just accept the fact that I will most likely never be able to buy a house of my own or even have kids. It's just depressing getting up to go to work every morning knowing that your future is bleak, no matter how hard you work. That's the funniest part of searching for a job right now. Companies want young and dumb to burn through. They don't realize the next generation is tiny compared to millennials. Because so many of us couldn't afford to have kids. Colleges are starting to realize it right now though. Combine with the fact that fertility issues have been increasing and the cost of fertility treatment. Even if you are able to have a house with space, it's still difficult. And once you have said baby, cost of daycare is as much as some people's mortgages. Why don't you have kids? I want to retire. Enslaved society. Same. I can't have kids because I am just a middle-class person that knows my future is bleak. It's hard to keep up with groceries, and ever-increasing cost of rent and vehicle maintenance costs. There are members of the Supreme Court that want to outlaw birth control. They are being bribed by billionaires who need a constant cheap supply of labor. Their labor supply is currently dwindling and they are pissed about that. Any government that actually cared about the future would try to take steps to solve the housing crisis just so there will be enough people in the future to replace all the workers who will die off at some point. But unfortunately that is not the world we live in. Saw a discussion on LinkedIn of all places where it was about the cost of going back to the office. Someone mentioned cost of childcare as it wasn't mentioned in the article. There were people flaming the guy that it was his choice to have children and have an on-site job. I really wonder what the point is of having children if less and less things are geared to the parents being able to have children and a decent life. Used to be, more kids was financially beneficial. Nowadays it's the opposite. The result is inevitable. Inflation is one of numerous ways the bourgeoisie screws workers. Not sure about exponentially, literally, but I agree. I'd also wonder if we're reaping the rewards of plastics and engineered chemicals via a lowered birth rate at this point. Been a long time coming. TBF. We need population rates to decline to save the planet. It's just we also need the capitalists to realize that the economy can't grow forever first. I'm almost 35 and just got my first house a year ago. Now that my eggs are dying every day, my partner and I have discussed children, but the thing is I'd barely get any maternity leave and wouldn't be paid fully for it. Giving birth is expensive even with insurance. WTF would we do if I was out on bed rest? Had a preemie? How do we pay for childcare? Like the logistics are a nightmare because there is no support for parents. Same. We've been priced out of existence. I work my ass off to pay $2,000 in rent knowing full well that I'll struggle to have food to eat for the month. If I get sick, I go into debt. Life isn't supposed to be this hard. Never been a better time in history to be sterile. Having a child regardless of my circumstances is a literal death sentence to me. TBH. Birth rate needs to go down. Money needs to circulate, not be hoarded. These dirty bastards are quite literally killing everyone else with greed. I'm not cruel enough to want kids. The highest birth rates are in poorer countries and the lowest birth rates are in wealthy countries, like Japan and South Korea. Biggest impacts on birth rate are education of women and availability of birth control. But I agree with you that it's not enticing to raise kids in the US when living paycheck to paycheck.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Aracast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.